We just arrived in Central Namibia, where we are going to be exploring the epic sand dunes of Sossusvlei. We'll visit the beautiful coastal city of Swakopmund, and we'll marvel at the epic number of seals here at Cape Cross.
After leaving our campsite near Helmringhausen, we headed on further north into Central Namibia. It's about a 4-hour drive from Helmringhausen to Sossusvlei, where you will visit some of the tallest sand dunes in the world and also a spot called the Deadvlei. It's been a beautiful, incredible drive today. The roads have been a little bit hectic and it is windy today. Most of the tourists, you'll see them hire 4x4s, but it's really not necessary, unless you really want to get off the beaten track. But really, a sedan car will do you just fine. As you can see, we've been on dirt roads. They've been in fairly good condition, so you can drive them with a car. We did want to take another route. Unfortunately, you need a 4x4 to do that. But my little Honda Jazz, she's a good 10 years old, has been navigating just fine, although some of the roads have been a little bumpy. I take it back, all the things I said about that piece of road. It was awful. I thought my car was gonna fall apart. So clearly they haven't kept it up over the years, and there is a nice stretch of tar, but yeah, no. No.
After a long day, we settled into another great camp called Sossus Oasis and took in yet another amazing Namibian sunset.
Good morning. We are queuing up. It's almost 7:45 in the morning. We're number 18 to get into where we're going to go see the Sossusvlei Dunes and the Deadvlei.
Right away, we could see the marine fog layer, and we drove right into it.
This is Sossusvlei. You can't see anything better than this. It really is remarkable.
These are the tallest sand dunes in the world, measuring 400 meters or just over 1,300 feet. And the colors are spectacular. They're yellow, pink, orange, red. The darker the sand, the older the dune is, because there's so much iron ore in the sand here that it oxidizes with age. Mother Nature is truly a great artist because these dunes are sculpted with the most perfect forms. We are out in the desert, and it does not rain very often in the Namib. But as you can see behind me, there is scrubby plant growth, and the plants here find their water from the morning marine fog that rolls in. And there is underground water as well. The plants know where to find it, the animals for sure know where to find it, and many of the animals here get all of their moisture just from the fog that rolls in the morning.
This is the end of the paved road, and it's only 4x4 from here, which, as you know, we don't have, and so they're going to take us out by tractor. Okay, so we got a ride out here after the tarred road ran out. It was 180 Rand per person, and it is absolutely freezing cold.
This is an ancient, haunting, and beautiful spot. And as you can see behind me, the marine layer of fog has not burned off yet this morning, but it just adds to the beauty and the magical feel of being here. We are at the Deadvlei, or Dead End Marsh, which lies near the foot of the Big Daddy Sand Dune. Thousands of years ago, the once mighty Sossusvlei River flooded, leaving pools of water scattered across the desert. This encouraged the growth of camel thorn trees. Centuries later, drought caused all these pools of water to dry up, and eventually the trees died off. And what you see behind me are the scorched skeletons of the 900-year-old camel thorn trees. And they are in sharp contrast to the baked clay that they rise from, set against the bright red sand dunes. And you might recognize this spot. It has been in quite a few movies, music videos, commercials. But there's nothing that can take the place of being here in person. It is haunting and magical at the same time. We've been out here quite a while now, and this marine fog layer has not burned off yet, and the sun has not come out, and it is pretty darn chilly out here, I have to say. Yay, the sun's trying to poke through, warm me up. So I'm climbing one of the big dunes here. And the view so far is amazing. I'm gonna go on up to the top and run back down.
So we left Sossusvlei this morning about an hour or so ago. Came up another horrible road. And here we are, stopped in Solitaire. It is a tourist attraction. It's been here for many years. It's an outpost. It's a gas station and a house that's turned into this little, I don't know, a tourist attraction, a funny little place with rooms now that you can rent or you can camp here. But it's really cool, and if you're driving on this road, man, you have to stop here. In addition to being an outpost for many years, they also serve what is supposed to be the best apple cake, apple crumble in all of Namibia.
Verdict? Delicious.
Awesome. After a couple of days of driving on really bad roads, we suspected that maybe one of the tires might have a small leak. So while we were in Solitaire, we had the tires checked, and luckily everything checked out and my car was spared from the scrapyard for now.
Just north of Solitaire, we crossed the Tropic of Capricorn, where it came to our attention that we might be the only ones driving through Namibia without our own sticker. From here, we drove through an area called the Moon Landscape, on our way to see one of the most unique and adapted plants found anywhere in the world. This is the Welwitschia plant. And there are several unique things about this plant. First, it is unique to the Namib Desert. And it is actually a carnivorous dwarf tree related to the pine tree, if you can imagine. But the most unique thing about this plant is its ability to live for centuries. There are some out here that are 1,500 and 2,000 years old. The weather out here in the desert cause them to shred and curl up. So it gives it the appearance of having many leaves, but it doesn't. It just has two main leaves, and it grows its entire life. And although it does have some small roots, it has a main taproot. And another unique thing about it is the taproot goes down as far as the leaves go out. And some of these Welwitchias out here, their leaves spread 28 feet from tip to tip, which means that taproot goes down 28 feet. Not only is the Welwitschia related to the pine tree, it also puts out little cone-shaped fruits that are edible, and people of the desert used to eat these raw or roast them in the fire, and they actually became known as the onion of the desert. Like all desert plants and animals, you have to adapt to survive in the desert. Behind me here is a 1,500-year-old Welwitschia. This is a perfect example of adaptation to its environment.
Good morning from a beautiful day in Swakopmund. I've been coming here for over 30 years, and this is a beautiful town with a lot of German architecture. It was settled by the Germans during the First World War, somewhere in the 1900s. They wanted to use it as a port, and there is a deep water port, Walfish Bay, 33 kilometers down the coastline. However, that was already colonized by the British, so they chose Swakopmund and built up the town. Over the years, it really hasn't changed from anything other than a place to come and play and fish, swim in the ocean, although it is super cold here. So today you'll still find a lot of the old German architecture, and a lot of people still speak German here today. You'll find a lot of German restaurants and a lot of Germans themselves that have either retired here or come on holiday.
For us, Swakopmund was an opportunity to rest for a few days after a lot of driving. We really enjoyed it here. There is a beautiful walkway near the beach with some really nice gardens, and guinea fowl are all over the place. After a couple of days, we got restless, so we booked a 4x4 tour to the nearby Sandwich Harbour. The trip out to Sandwich Harbour took us south, past the rapidly growing port city of Walfish Bay and its huge salt works. This is where the 4x4 adventure began as we headed straight down the beach. Eventually, the only way to continue is by climbing the massive sand dunes. I thought this would be an adrenaline-based 4x4 experience, but I found riding the stunning waves of these dunes to be incredibly relaxing and more of a zen-like experience. Sandwich Harbour, or Sandwich Bay, has a bay on the northern end and a lagoon at the southern end. Whaling and sealing vessels harbored here in the 1700s and 1800s. Today, this area is home to abundant marine life and both the greater and lesser flamingos. If you visit Sandwich Harbour, you will be met with the most stunning views of giant sand dunes coming right down to the ocean. The scale and natural beauty here will take your breath away. And while I expected it to be beautiful, it turned out to be one of the most epic and stunning parts of our entire trip through Namibia. We're here at Cape Cross, Namibia, and this is the home of the Cape fur seal. And I'm wearing this mask because there are so many seals here, you cannot believe the smell. But they're amazing to see, and this colony lives here year-round, and it can number at times up to 350,000 seals. So you can imagine the smell. The pups right now look like they're almost half grown. And amazingly enough, the bulls come in about a week after the pups are born to mate with the females again. So the females remain pregnant virtually year-round. I've never seen or smelled anything like this, but it's amazing. Since these seals became fully protected under Namibian law, their numbers have increased greatly. And while you can visit and observe the seals here at Cape Cross, be prepared for a full-on and intense experience. The Cape fur seals are literally as far down the beach in both directions as I can see. And as awkward as these animals are on land, they are as graceful in the sea. And we've been watching them diving in the waves and surfing and coming into shore, and they are so graceful in the water. But also, just because they're awkward on land doesn't mean they can't be fast, because these mothers, if you walk too close to one of their pups, they can move really fast, and I found that out. Namibia has an exceptional variety of precious and semi-precious stones. Just keep in mind that the collecting and selling of stones is reserved for Namibian nationals, and the export of any type of fossils is strictly forbidden. There's all these little stands set up along the side of the road and selling these beautiful crystals. They're all unmanned. It works on the honor system. They have a sign up, how much to pay, a little metal box with a lock on it and a slit in the top to put your bills into. So you just pick a crystal that you want, stick your money in the box, and now we are off, and I'll see you guys in northern Namibia.